Hey guys, it's Joanna Sotomura, and you're watching Two Mics Up.
Double O 07.
What's happening, everybody? Happy Monday. It's your man, Damon Cunningham, aka Dame DNYDC. And you know what time it is. Brand new episode of Two Mics Up. And today we're going to be joined by, you know, some might say crazy X to Sunny fame. But what I can say is that today's guest is amazing, exceptionally humble, and just comes across as a giver. And I really hope that you all feel the energy by today's guest who's joining me on the other mic because I'm excited. I've watched some of her work. I think she's extraordinarily talented. She's also juggling a new job with a new addition to the family. So forgive her if she might sound a little tired, but we're going to give her grace today on Two Mics Up. You know how we do on the platform. We're going to have some fun. But without going into any more, ladies and gentlemen, without any more further ado, please allow me to bring today to the other mic, Joanna Sotomura. Joanna, how are you today?
Hi, that was such an intro. That just made my day. I am doing wonderful. How are you?
Hey, look, I really, sometimes you just got to go off the cuff, and some of the things in the intro, not even some, I think they're all true. And we talked a little bit behind stage, but you really kind of brought a huge swath of work, to us on the screen. But we always, like I always believe, we always have to start at the beginning, Joanna, and really kind of give us a little look into who you are, your background, where you're from, and what's going on in your life today.
Yeah, okay, great. Well, I was born and raised in Honolulu, Hawaii. I got into acting because I was in a new school and I was very shy and very scared, and just to make new friends. And then my dad suggested that I do theater because for like 3 months while you're rehearsing, they have to hang out with you. And then so through that, I actually and I did make friends. But I fell in love with acting and with performing, and I went to school then at Loyola Marymount to study theater, and I had a professor who was actually like, you know what, I think you do very well in film and television. You should really consider it. So I was very fortunate. I worked on my reel, and I had all these headshots, and I researched every agent and manager, and I sent them out in these little envelopes. I just remember staying up all night, just being like, okay, one of these has got to hit. And then I got my first agent, my manager, and I did some indie projects, and then have just been very fortunate to keep working more and more on bigger and juicier things each year. And yeah, which led to Sunny last year, which was incredible. It was the gift of a lifetime. Oh my word.
Listen, I can see it, coming from humble beginnings. And look, I think this is the first time we've actually had someone from Hawaii, so that's a new one. All right, but you can see the talent and the energy. And you talk about Sunny, on Apple TV, and the series itself really, if I have to be honest, I guess the project required you to face emotions, if you will, and the robot. And
Yeah.
for those of you who don't know, if you haven't watched it, you need to go and watch the series because it's really incredible. But it's really like a blending of technology in a really unique way. Like, can you kind of walk us through, what it's been like for you to kind of creatively bring that to life each and every week or what on the series? Because it's got to be incredible. Because in my mind, I'm like, I don't know if I could do that. So what was that like for you?
Well, thank you so much. So yeah, it wasn't just, I didn't just voice this robot. We actually had a practical 4 foot tall
Wow.
robot puppet on set. And so I would go in and do the scene as Joanna, and I would, they'd put a piece of tape where Sunny's eye lines are so that Rashida Jones, who's amazing, and our other incredible actors could have something to act opposite of. And then I would go pretty much right off camera and get rigged up in this Sunny helmet, which was this heavy helmet with a battery pack and a camera and a monitor and a ring light, so that I could then and a microphone, so I could then project my real time facial expressions and voice and head movements to the robot on the day. So everything that you see is actually me acting in real time with Rashida, with all the other actors, for every take. So there's no, it's not CGI. It's not just someone, although we did have incredible puppeteers doing the hands and the uh, movement of Sunny, but all the facial expressions in the head. Yeah, that was me on the day.
Wow.
And
Wow.
it was a technology that had never been used before. So
Hmm.
it's very exciting, but it also had a lot of like kinks to work out, especially in like 110 degrees Kyoto heat. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Or like freezing cold in the woods at 4 a.m.
Oh my
But
goodness.
the results are really, really wonderful to actually have um, something to play off of in real time on the day. So yeah, I'm glad
Listen,
that yeah we got to do that.
that's so awesome, and like Rashida is, a great actress, herself. And
Yes.
what is it like, working with someone like that that really also has an energy, and connection, because her role, it all blends and works so well together. But what's that like for you to be able to work with someone that really, if for better or worse, really helps you bring the best out of yourself? Like, what is that like to show up, every day and be able to know, oh, we're gonna nail it?
Oh man, it was such a gift to work with her. She is such a professional. She's so smart. She's so smart with but and like so cool. Like I always say that she's just like the coolest girl in high school who's so beautiful and so smart and so neat and like laid back that like it's just her like laid backness is like intimidating because you're like, oh, you're so cool. And I just want to say the right things in front of you. But yeah, but she was just and she's oh my God. And this role was something that I personally had never seen her portray before, which was like this incredibly heartbroken wife and mother, and just so many different layers of sorrow, but with this really dark humor to it too. And she
Hmm.
rode the line perfectly. Like she's so talented that for me, all I had to do was like show up, and
I
she
love
did it.
that. And
Yeah.
I'm just asking for people who don't know, because she's also, somewhat of a comedian as well. And I can say that because she's been here as well on the show. So that's why I had to ask, because that's my girl. She's a great human being. Another
Okay, so
great, yeah,
yeah.
I've had the pleasure sitting down and talking to her. So I had to ask because I just think she too is amazing. But
She's awesome.
yeah, she's awesome. But I also want to talk because Sonny, I mean Sonny, I'm calling you Sonny, Joanna. No, if I'm correct, so like part of your character is deeply, I guess, rooted in Japanese culture as
Mhm.
well, right? And the technology and everything, and you've spoken about your own, you know, heritage and your Japanese heritage. Like how much or how did you like really use your personal background too to
Mhm.
actually help bring Sunny to life? Because I think that's an amazing marriage, if you will, to actually be able to bring a part of not only Joanna but your culture,
Yeah.
to life and on screen. And I think that speaks volumes as well, and it gives the world a new or a different perspective on Japanese culture.
Oh, thank you so much. That's
Yeah.
such a great question. Well, it was actually like so I grew up in Hawaii and there's a lot of like Japanese culture just in the island and raised on a lot of like Japanese foods and certain sayings and phrases, but I had never been to Japan before. So that was
Mm.
my very first time really experiencing all the little things that I grew up with like on the big screen kind of. Um, so I was just very proud, like so proud to be able to share the language and the food and the traditions. And then speaking of language too, I don't speak Japanese very well.
Mhm.
I'm a horrible student, but I had a really wonderful coach, Yumi Mizui, who taught me all of my Japanese lines, and we worked really hard for months to just sort of like figure out the cadence and the tone. But it was just, I mean, so many emotions, but I just all condensed. It felt I was just so proud, just very
Love that.
proud,
I
and
love that.
And yeah, it was really cool to see like a community too of all Japanese creators and actors, and so a director of episode 9 was a Japanese director.
Oh.
Um, yeah, it was like an honor of a lifetime. It was so cool.
I was just gonna say, like, how much of an honor really is that? Because we look at film, TV, we all to a degree want to identify, with who we are in our roots and our cultures, and having it come across as authentic and real as possible, and then to be a part of that had to be amazing. And looking at that, from maybe some of your other work, like, is this one of those things that you definitely put, like, if it was your Mount Rushmore of things or pieces of work that you would definitely go back and be like, yeah, that was it. That was a time, that can never be reproduced.
Yeah,
I
100%.
love that.
I
I love
wish
that.
I wish in a perfect world too, I mean, in the future, I'll do that also while being on camera, as a human,
Okay.
you know?
Right.
But in the meantime, like, oh my god, yeah, and the writing was so good. Like, our showrunner, Katie Robbins, did such a fantastic job at building this very unique world. Because we've seen robots and
Mhm.
AI taking over and the threat of them and the help of them time and time again, but I truly feel like this did such a unique take on that theme. So,
It really
yes, I
did.
am so proud. I am like, I love, love, love the story, and I love the scripts, and there's certain episodes too where I'm like, "Yeah, that was
Yeah,
good."
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay, that I do get, yeah, I
Yeah.
we nailed that one. Yeah, that one, yeah, we got that one.
Yeah.
And you said something interesting about growing up on Hawaii,
Mhm.
and kind of your journey, if you will, so far, like, because you started out in theater, and kind of moved now to major TV and all of these different streaming projects. I'm curious because I heard you talk about some people, but were there any other pivotal moments that really, like, automatically you're like, aha, this was it, and really help, was anyone mentors that help pour into your continued growth and really help you develop to kind of, blossom and become the person and the actress that we're seeing now?
Oh, man, that's a really good question. There were so many moments, I think, because it's hard, man. It's so hard, being an actor, and especially these days with just how the industry is, but with auditions
Yeah.
and all of the no's um, and like before self tapes, just like you drive yourself from Santa Monica to Burbank, and like I was kind of a server at the time, so I have like oatmeal in my hair while I'm changing in the car, and it just feels like so hopeless. But then in those moments where you're just like, yeah, you have people that really tell you that you can and believe in you, like it just it fuels you for the next whatever project. But I'm trying to think
Right.
specifically. I mean, I was really lucky. I was very fortunate to do a few episodes of Barry,
Mm,
um, season 3, and at the premiere, and it was a small part, but it was like a fun part, and it was so cool to be with just like all these heavy hitters. Oh my god.
right.
But at the premiere, Bill Hader actually gave me like a really sweet shout out for just like one line he
Wow.
said wasn't meant to be funny, but then I made it funny, and I'm just like,
Wow. Look at that.
so that was
Okay.
like someone that I admire saying that too was, like, incredible. My drama teacher in 7th grade who really just, like, helped me and coached me and told me that I have fun with it, and that's, like, a real gift, and keep going. That was huge too. David Saito, shout out.
Love that.
And then, like, honestly, my mom, like,
Oh.
it's so cheesy, but
Oh,
it's true.
no.
Right, well, yeah, and especially with Mother's Day just passed, I'm like, "Ugh." But she's still alive, by the way. I'm not she's yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I just get being a mom now too, I always get just so emotional talking about my own mother. But, when I was going off from high school to college, and I was studying theater arts, a lot of people would ask me what I'm studying, and I'd be like, "Well, I wanna be an actor," but it's stupid. I know, it's so dumb, and I'll never make it. And my mom sat me down and she said, "Hey, I wanna tell you, stop saying that.
That's
Never
right.
apologize for your dreams, because
That's
everyone
right.
else gets to say what they wanna do wholeheartedly, you get to
That's
too."
right.
And
That's
that,
right.
like, I've never forgotten that. So,
I
yeah,
love that.
that's the
Kudos to
biggest
moms. That's right, moms. That's right. Instill that belief in yourself
yeah,
that
right?
what you want and what you believe in is just as important as the next person, and it's okay. And
Mhm.
and I'm saying it because I had to learn that. Sometimes you're just so humble and you like to give to others. sometimes we
Mhm.
forgive that it's okay to give to ourselves and,
Yeah.
appreciate what we want and appreciate our accomplishments, no matter how big or small, because they do
Mhm.
matter. So shout out to mom. And look, we're going to take a short 90-second break because we want to thank our sponsors here at Two Mics Up for allowing us to come back each and every week, sit down with incredible talent like Joanna each and every week. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the other side of the break.
94 Media House specializes in transformative digital design that elevates your brand to new heights. Whether you need stunning graphic design, impactful branding, or a captivating web presence, our team is here to bring your vision to life. Join the ranks of successful businesses that trust 94 Media House for their digital design needs. Let's make your brand unforgettable. Contact us today.
Experience unforgettable memories with Riddick Entertainment and Events, the premier event planners in Northern Virginia. We specialize in crafting extraordinary weddings and events tailored to your vision. Led by the husband and wife team of Saeed and Michelle Riddick, we ensure your special day is stress-free and memorable. Don't leave your memories to chance. Let Riddick Entertainment help you create lasting moments. Contact us today to start planning your unforgettable event.
Unleash flavor with Tico Rico hot sauce, made from fresh, homegrown peppers for a vibrant taste. Enjoy the perfect blend of heat and zest with our habanero and refreshing Serrano lime sauces. Ideal for tacos, seafood, or salads, Tico Rico enhances any dish. Join the Tico Rico family today and elevate your meals with our award-winning sauces. Visit us online to grab your starter kit and discover the magic of Tico Rico.
Pico Rico.
We doing Tico Rico. We doing it all right here, and we cooking it with the incredibly talented Joanna Sotomura. Thank you so much, Joanna, for being here again. And we're fresh out the break, and we've only really scratched the surface because Joanna, you played a wide range and variety of characters from the comedic world of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and the dark comedy where you mentioned Barry and the sci-fi elements, if you will, of Sunny. And I'm curious, and I think we are curious, like how do you approach building these such diverse characters, and where does Joanna go to really hone in and tune in when she's you know thankfully gotten the role, but now bringing that character to life for us to see?
Oh man. I think I don't think I'm unique in this, but like every project I attack very, very differently.
Mm,
Um, uh, I think it just depends on like the style or the text. But for all of those ones too, it's mostly finding the beats of humor in it too, even though they're all different kinds of genres and styles. So I just try to really find the moments where I can have fun and
mm,
play and be fully myself in whatever kind of character that is. And also, I've been very fortunate to just do things with really wonderful writing. So
mm,
I trust the writing. I'll find little moments to like have fun and sort of spin things a little bit differently. But yeah, for the most part, it's kind of like a fugue state. I don't know. I
mm.
don't. I wish I had more of a process to like break down, but it's just sort of like I'm like, all right, well, how can I have fun today? So it seems to be working.
No, look, fingers crossed from your mouth to God's ears. Let's keep the train rolling on the tracks because you're
Yeah.
really doing it. And the interesting thing too, like because you had said some things earlier when I think about the industry, right? And again,
Mhm.
someone who's not necessarily uh in the actual, not an actor or anything like that, actress, but we're fans, right? And you mentioned, how the industry itself has changed in the time that you've been a part of it. And, you know, I'm curious, really, as an actress, like, how do you see these shifts, I guess, if you will, impacting, the entertainment industry as we move forward? Do you see more good than bad? Because I know, coming out of the actor strike, we were talking about AI and the effect of AI, kind of impacting different levels of the industry. You
Mhm.
talk about how you would actually perform, to, submit, for a role. So like, do you see any changes, good or bad, that, you want to continue to see, or you're still hesitant? It's like, oh, we need to kind of hold up on this right here.
Yeah, I mean, the big one is definitely the threat of AI with what it can do for
Mm,
like animation and writing sometimes, and voice acting and all those other creative fields where you're like, oh, that shouldn't be taken away from humans. That's such a important thing for to have a human element to it. So
Right.
that's a little bit scary too. And then with where the strikes have left us, it's felt a lot slower in terms
Mm,
of work and auditions and projects coming out. So I don't really know. I mean, I all I know is that I've had this drive in me for a very long time to act and perform. So I will do that in whatever capacity that I can find. And I do worry that our attention span is getting shorter just with like our TikToks and things,
yeah.
which I'm definitely guilty of, like watching instead of putting a show on. I'll be like, I'll just go on TikTok for a bit. Like, no, don't. You're adding to the problem. This is not your problem again. You're just like, I can
Right.
only
You're feeding into it. Yeah.
I'm so tired. I can't watch a drama. So there's definitely that worry too. And honestly, I don't know. Like I don't
Mm,
I wish I had more of an insight as to like where this will all go. But I think technology is changing so fast and
yeah.
our want and need and type of content is also changing so fast
Yeah.
that for me it's hard to predict. But I'm gonna be here. I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
So that's all I
And
know.
that's the answer that we care about. We definitely want to continue to see you light up the screen and big or small or on stage, because you're definitely talented. And
Thank
you know, I'm curious to know too if like you say, you're still looking to expand and grow. Like,
you.
who is there an actor or actress out there today that you would really be interested in working with? Maybe just to have an opportunity to be mentored by, or to be able to just share the screen with. Like, yeah, I see you probably got a couple of you. I see it in your eyes and your head.
Oh,
You're thinking, but is there one that really stands out for you?
yeah, there's a few, but my problem is too that like sometimes if I really love them, I'm like, I can never meet them in my life. I can they're too much of like a holy grail person. Olivia Colman's a huge one.
Wow. Okay.
Um, of course, Meryl Streep, Steve Martin.
Mm,
Oh, wow.
wow.
I've admired him for a very long time. Um, Man, there's so many people who I'd like to be mentored by. I don't I don't know. I'm gonna say with Olivia Colman because I love her free spirit. I love how she approaches things. I love the humor that she finds in really dramatic
Yeah.
stuff. I
Yeah.
loved her in
Mm,
Fleabag. Like,
yeah.
oh yeah,
Great.
she'd be my and also I think it'd be cool just to hang out with her too.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you find out more about life and how to apply things. Sometimes just hanging out with somebody, just
Yeah.
having the
Oh,
opportunity just to be able to ask questions and just find out, how they maybe attacked a role or a scene or different things like that. I think that goes a long way. And even for those in 9 to 5, you have a mentor or something, or someone that you can kind of lean on to kind of give you some guidance. I think that's really important. And you time moves and flies because we're coming up on the back end of the conversation. But Joanna, is there like anything that I haven't asked you that you would like for us to know or take away, about you or about any future project that we should be looking at coming from you? Because this has been one of my most enjoyable conversations. Your spirit, you're just such a joy to be able to talk
um,
to. And
aw.
I just want to give you, I just anything I didn't ask you, please, you want to share or let us know you got coming up.
Oh, thank you so much. I wish I had some like really fun, cool projects coming up. They will happen. TBD.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm yeah, I'm so proud of Sunny. I do wish we had more eyes in the show. So if anyone out
Yes.
there is like, oh, I want to check out some sort of fun, new, dark, futuristic, comedy-ish thriller set in, near futuristic Kyoto, may I suggest our show Sunny?
Hey.
And then I think something I just want everyone to know being a parent is so hard and it's so
Yeah.
wonderful and like I want to put praise out to all the working parents out there. Everyone is doing such an incredible job. The fact that you get up and feed and love your baby means everything. So
Mm.
just like praise and shout out to like the tired, stressed, loving new parents out there. You guys are doing great and it gets easier is what I'm told.
Trust me. Trust me. I'm not a mother, but being a dad, it's not the same thing. But
You
yes,
know,
it
yeah.
does get easier and it does get better. And there is no outside. I can honestly say there's three things that stick with me to this day. The day that I
Mm.
got married to my wife, the day that the world and the Lord allowed me to sit and see my daughter actually being born into this world, and to actually see her get married. I have these memories all blend and bleed together, and they are truly a joy. And
Ah,
you're right, it gets better. So, continued success to you, Joanna, your family, your husband, mom, everybody. Nothing but love and blessings to you all. And before we go, too, I want to allow you, and we're going to put this in the show notes. Please go ahead and share your social media. I want to make sure our audience goes out and gets behind you, behind Sunny, the show, everything. So please go ahead and take a moment to share your social media.
thank you so much. Across all platforms, it's at Joanna Sotomura.
Nice and simple. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The incredibly talented Joanna Sotomura. It's been another incredibly great episode, ladies and gentlemen, of Two Mics Up. Uh, I can't even lie. And this is where you got to give yourself kudos. Now we had the best guests. I don't care what nobody say. We have the best guests. We have some great conversations, good times always. Joanna, like I said, continued success. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget season 8. This is season 8, Two Mics Up. We rolling along, coming up on 200 episodes, and
Woo!
we just turned 5 yesterday. So 5 years, going on 200 episodes of the show itself. Well, we're over 300 plus episodes if you want to add in our business corner segment, our live segments. So I want to thank you all for supporting us and just being some great friends and fans and family. So without further ado, if you want to follow Two Mics Up, though, you can follow us online at Two Mics Up, IG, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can follow us online at www.twomicsup.com. We are a full-time award-winning show, and you see it right there. We got the realest guests, the dopest talk, and we just spit fire each and every week. So stay tuned for watching this episode on my all new streaming channel, Infusion TV. We are now going into the second half of our first season. We will have 10 shows now. We've added another 5 to the lineup. So check it out. You can download the Mogul TV Global app, the #1 network for positive programming. And you can watch Two Mics Up and all my label mates, channel mates, and enjoy positive programming. No cursing, no nudity, none of that. You can leave the TV on all day and watch clean shows. Get educated by some great speakers and other content creators on the network and on the channel. And like we do at the end of each and every show, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you with 3 things. May you all stay safe, stay blessed. Mike's out.